Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer, and joining me, as per usual, is the legendary Rayceen Pendarvis. Welcome, Rayceen. Hi
Welcome.
everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions. How are you?
Fine, great. I'm waiting for
And
you to let me in, love my fit.
you are here, you are here, you are here. So
Oh,
I am waiting on Alexander to come in, and that is our special guest for today, Alexander Padro. So welcome, Alexander. Here he is. Hello, Alexander. How are you?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
oh, great. We're
Awesome,
happy to
awesome.
have you. So please tell our viewers about yourself and why you're a candidate this year.
Well, Racine, I've been an ANC commissioner representing the Shaw neighborhood for the past 20 years, and also for the past 17 years, my day job has been the executive director of Shaw Main Streets, the commercial revitalization organization that has helped to spearhead the transformation of the neighborhood into one of the most attractive and popular neighborhoods in the city to live, work, shop, play, pray, and learn. But I've also been working on citywide issues for a long time. People know me as an activist that helped to save the MLK Library. For example, I've been a preservationist, helping folks in different parts of the city, trying to preserve important buildings and landscapes in their neighborhoods. And I've also been helping folks to understand how they can make the best of the development opportunities in their neighborhoods so that they can get the types of businesses and amenities that the community has decided that they want. So I've often been called out to help to share how we did it in Shaw. So earlier this year, I had been getting a lot of calls from folks asking whether or not I was going to run for Ward 2 council, because everybody still thinks I live in Ward 2, even though we got redistricted out 10 years ago. And I said, no, can't do that. And then they were saying, well, are you going to run for David Grosso's at-large seat? I said, not really at this time. I wasn't, all that focused on it, but people were getting very insistent that they were frustrated that the choices that they had, were not to their liking. People were either, much too progressive, for their tastes, or they had no experience. They hadn't accomplished anything. I kept hearing, who are these people? What have they done? And the answer was that they hadn't done anything. So ultimately, I did decide to throw my hat in the ring. A little bit late, but nonetheless, I've been so very, flattered and honored by the support that I've been getting from all over the city, from folks that I've worked with in the past, from folks that have heard about me but didn't know that much, and I'm just, very excited to be running, even though this is such a challenging environment, with COVID-19. I always thought that if I did run for council, I'd be knocking on as many doors as I could all over the city, and going to every single ANC meeting and community association meeting possible. And that's just not possible right now. So instead, having to rely on doing a lot of social media, literature drops, making a lot of phone calls, talking to a lot of people on the phone, and looking forward to the next couple of phases, including the great forums online that are being done, like the one that you're doing with the Blade coming up later this month. So every opportunity to try to share my vision for the city and what I'd like to try to help to do. The other thing that really made me decide to run was that I'm very concerned that COVID-19 is going to end up killing half or more of all the businesses in our entire city. Some people have said as much as 70% of our small businesses could be gone in a year. And that has a very great impact, not just on the neighborhoods, but on the families whose life savings are invested in these businesses, all of the employees, many of them district residents that work at these businesses, and the tax revenue that's generated, both the commercial property taxes and the sales taxes. So a huge impact on our city's future. We obviously want to be able to be a more equitable city, but if we face the kinds of financial challenges that the CFO is saying that we will, unless we make some dramatic changes and come up with some new ideas and think outside the box, we're not going to have the revenue to be able to do that unless we start raising taxes or cutting services. So, and that becomes a very challenging situation for our leadership. So I've always felt that one of my strengths is in creating win-win opportunities and striking a balance between the needs of the community and the desires of the community and what developers and business want to try to achieve. And I've been successful in doing that for 20 years, and people have recognized the fact that that I've been fair. And that you can't always predict which side I'm going to be on, except that I'm going to do the best to try to make it possible for people to get things done. I get things done, and that's one of the signatures of my 20 years of service to our city.
Awesome. And so with all those 20 years, tell me about this year. You kind of touched on that a little bit. But tell me what you've learned from the campaign process, thus far, especially this year. Tell me about that.
So one of the things that I've done in the 10 previous campaigns that I've run, for ANC is I've asked people, if I am elected or reelected, what would be the top 3 things that you would want to see me work on? And what's really been revealing is that regardless of who I've talked to, whether it's, homeless individuals, or people living in multi-million-dollar row houses, they've almost universally said that the most important thing that they want to see me work on is affordable housing. And a lot of people talk about wanting to support affordable housing, but how many people have actually helped to create affordable housing? I've helped to create affordable housing, senior housing, workforce housing here in Shaw and in other parts of the jurisdiction that I've represented, both in downtown and the Mount Vernon Triangle. So I've worked with developers, I've worked with nonprofits to be able to create affordable housing. So that's number one. Number two, folks have said that indeed they're very concerned about the future of our small businesses, and I've got some great ideas about how to help to move businesses forward into the next phase, including reducing the payment of property taxes by businesses to a percentage of the space that they can actually use. If they're paying 100% of their property taxes and they get to use 30 or 50% of the space that they're paying for, that makes no sense. So that's a very easy way that the city would be able to provide relief. But also a number of other ideas from other cities, like providing subsidies so that restaurants can prepare meals for essential workers, as well as for low and moderate income residents, especially those that are unemployed. And also, the last thing that people have really been saying that they'd like to see me do is to extend the type of equitable development that I've been able to help to lead in Shaw to other neighborhoods that have not had any development. They've gotten a lot of promises, over the years, about getting supermarkets and restaurants and other types of businesses in their neighborhoods. They've gotten nothing. And I've shown that if a community gets together and they agree on what's important to them and what they want to see happen, they can work with the government, they can work with the development community, and they can make things happen so that everybody wins and nobody has to be displaced. That's one of the things that I'm the proudest of in terms of what I've done in the Shaw neighborhood, that, although in other areas, and putting nearby on 14th Street, there's been substantial displacement of long-time low and moderate income families, especially people of color. In the area that I've represented, that hasn't happened. We've been able to renovate the buildings that these people live in that were built in the 70s and 80s, and they are still our neighbors, and they're getting to enjoy the good times in the neighborhood, after having lived through some bad times in the past. So I want to work, to help every neighborhood that wants to see positive changes happening in the neighborhood to be able to achieve those improvements. So my slogan is dreams come true, because I want to help to make every DC neighborhood's dreams come true. And I believe that I can do that as a member at large of the DC Council.
That's important. That's amazing. At least there are 24 people running on the ballot for the November DC Council at large.
I think that's a record.
In the process, voters each are able to cast a vote for 2. Do you support implementing instant runoff voting or ranked choice voting in DC elections?
So, I do believe that we do need to make some changes about how we handle our elections. And we're going to have to, because hopefully we're going to be a state very soon. Cross your fingers. People have been waiting 2 centuries for this to happen, but it is time. And I believe that if we have a change in the Senate and a change in the White House, which we need, we may finally be able to get statehood, which will help us with in a lot of different ways. But that shift from being, having home rule and having the system where we have unpaid elected officials in the form of ANC commissioners and a legislature that is not as robust as it should be for our population, we're going to have to make some changes. So I would propose instituting or establishing a task force or a commission to analyze how elections are done in other jurisdictions, both here and perhaps even overseas, trying to come up with some best practices and then make recommendations so that the council and the mayor and our citizenry can implement those changes so that we can be ready to accept the mantle of statehood.
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell me, have you decided, because we just said there are 2 votes there, have you decided which of your other at-large candidates that you will give your second vote to?
So I haven't decided. Some people have told me, you shouldn't vote for anybody. You should just vote for yourself. But I know some people that I know that I won't vote, but I'm not going to share that because I'm not going to, be throwing stones. But I do encourage people to consider voting for 2 independents. Although there is an incumbent Democrat on the ballot, many people have, questioned, with so many people to choose from, why not take a look at, like a Chinese menu? You got 24 options. You've got a lot of different, styles, different opinions. Maybe you want to choose, 2 different people that have some diametric, positions to create some additional balance on the council, because balance is important on a body like the council. So I'm just asking folks to make sure that one of their 2 is me.
So please share how viewers can follow you and support your campaign.
So you can go to my website, alexpadro.com. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at alexpadrodc. If you'd like to be a volunteer, we have plenty of volunteer opportunities, even in the COVID situation. So you can be a volunteer and still do it safely. You can contact me via email at vote@alexpadro.com. If you'd like to contribute and you're able to do that, contributions of all sizes are welcome. It takes a lot of money to be able to put on a strong campaign. And we're very grateful for all the contributions from the $25 ones to the top dollar donors. The important thing is to get the word out about the fact that we have a candidate in me that really does care about neighborhoods and wants to put neighborhoods first. Some people talk about a lot of different competing priorities. They want to talk about maximizing our tax base and funding the police, but ultimately it's about the quality of life and the ability of all of our residents to be able to live together in peace and harmony and safety in clean, safe, prosperous neighborhoods where they can walk down the street to a job, where they can walk down the street, to spend their hard-earned money without having to, go out into the suburbs in order to be able, to get what they need. We need a more equitable city. And, equity has been something that I've been focused on throughout my 20 years as a commissioner, fighting for the neighbors on one side of my alley that were paying a couple of $1,000s a year in rent because that was 30% of their income, and folks on the other side of the alley that were in condos and row houses that they had paid $750,000 and up to $1 million and more. And the incredible thing is, folks, when you get people around a table, it's remarkable how many things they actually can agree on. And if we can agree on the things that are important to us all and work on those and make those happen, then we can put other issues that we can't agree on right now into a parking lot, if you will, and then come back and deal with those later. But we have so many real priorities right now that are needed in order for our city to be able to be equitable for all of us to be able to enjoy living in the District of Columbia.
And that's so important. And for viewers, they can hear more from Alex at our DC Council at Large 2020 Candidate Forum this month. First one Tuesday, September 15th, the second Tuesday, September 22nd, and the other Tuesday, September 29th. Moderated by Rayceen Pendarvis and yours truly, in conjunction with Washington Blade. So make sure that you join us there. And Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. Been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And Rayceen, I'm sorry that this year the Art All Night Festival is going to be a virtual one, so we can't have you and that wonderful group of performers that you've been organizing for us in past years come to Shaw to be able to enjoy the festival. We had 30,000 people come out last year, and
yes,
about 10,000 of them came to see you and your lineup. But hopefully next year the pandemic will be over and we'll be able to go back to having the kind of festival that the entire city can enjoy. It's something again that I'm so very proud of helped to make happen.
I am. I'm very honored to be a part of that, and I'm looking forward in 2021 for it to come back. Art All Night. Art All Night is going to be amazing, and most of all to the viewers, thank you for tuning in. And viewers, make sure you are ready to vote. And thank you all for watching.
Bye.
Thank you, Krylios.